So for the last several years, and some of you have seen our car, she's filthy. Whew. Anyway, because we put a battery in the Merc, and I was headed to the car wash. And then she stalled half block from the house, and then she stalled again at a buddy's house on the north side of town, and then I thought, well, ethanol. One of my more embarrassing moments, because I think we lost our fuel pump. Luckily, we're not too far from home. I thought the ethanol ate the needle and seat in the carburetor. Nope. So here's a video of me rebuilding the carburetor. And then I took the fuel pump off because I couldn't get the fuel filter housing out. And all of it did nothing. She'll run for 30 seconds and then just flat die. So not having a fuel problem, and we have plenty of fuel, we're going ignition because I'm out of ideas. So thanks for coming along for the ride. Let's see, hopefully we can get the Will It Run from my own garage done once again. Hey everybody, how are we doing today? Before we get into today's Mercury video, I'm going to give you guys a quick update on the Cheyenne truck, which almost would look good except for some serious issues we had with the air compressors. Well, about a month ago, Dad's big compressor over here, well, you can see something very important's missing because the little nuts that hold the capacitor, starter capacitor cover on, fell in and took out the armature. So priding myself on being the semi-resourceful person that I am, I went ahead and got the spare compressor from the other garage and wired it up. This is also 220. And everything was, excuse the mess, that was a last-ditch effort until today when that pump tied up. So we're 0 for 2 with compressors. We're down 2. So I went and got Dad's little tiny compressor that we've been filling bicycle tires with for the last 45 years. I finished painting the truck the best I could with that. It was not easy because that does not have the CFM to paint a car. So I really would not keep up. And that's why all the dry spots on the truck. Otherwise, came out pretty good, but I'm going to have to, I'm going to have to wet sand it or buff it or whatever you have to do. So given all that, like the newspaper kind of look on there, it really isn't that bad. So anyway, let's get back to the Mercury. We'll see you at the end of the video. Well, in case any of you are new to my videos, maybe this is your first time here, I am not a mechanic, in all honesty. I was an industrial technician for about 15 years. I know how to take stuff apart, but I'm not an auto mechanic. I do not have a natural auto mechanical inclination like a lot of guys have. I'm not even really a shade tree hack. I'm just a guy who has to try to fix his own stuff. So don't take anything I say as gospel and don't have any faith in me knowing what I'm doing. You also might notice occasionally I will stumble through a word. I have a little bit of tendonitis in my jaw. It's something I've had for years, but it doesn't always make English easy, and it's the only language I speak. Well, if this ever gets turned into a video and any of you are watching this, I'm looking for some decent fender covers for another project. Wow, for this too. And if you've got any ideas, leave it in the comments. I'd like to know. Let's go. Oh, the light shining right into it. That's probably not great. don't think it's the fuel filter or the fuel pump, to be truthful. Get on there. I hate doing this shit. Plenty of gas. Not the issue at all. Plenty of gas. Not the issue. Which now means what I'm going to have to do is take that carburetor apart, because I think the ethanol has eaten the needle and seat. Yeah, spoiled fuel was not the problem. The carburetor was pretty decently clean, and I don't think the filter was an issue. But I did fix that weird hesitation problem, so I'm good with that. I'm not sure why I didn't test run the car with the top of the Autolite 2100 off, because she'll sit there and idle all day with the top of the carburetor off, and you can watch that needle and seat and the float. But I didn't do it this time, and that was a mistake. Wish I had time right now and some more cars running so I could just change the manifold out to the 4-barrel and do the umbrella seals and all that great stuff that I've got for this car that I just don't have the time right now. Now, I always try to be honest, so in all honesty, I'm the guy who rebuilt the carburetor on this car, which means no potential problem is off the table. Lord only knows what I might have screwed up, and she did, even though we've put several thousand miles on her. She'd have a hesitation coming off a stop sign or at a green light and kind of fall on her face, so I know something was wrong. Right there, I'm removing the heat riser tube that runs to the thermal choke, and you have to be really careful taking that off and putting it back on, because that's apparently fairly easy to cross thread, because we did it many years ago, and now it's working, but it's barely holding on. But when we get the 4-barrel on there, that goes away. Well, no, that part on the carburetor goes away because we're changing the carburetor. Not much thread left on that guy, unfortunately. Back off comes the fuel line again, because I had decided at this point to go ahead and throw that rebuild kit at the carburetor, thinking I might have something wrong with the accelerator pump or power valve or whatever you want to call it, or something else stuck in there, even though I now know the float and the needle and seat are not the issue. Well, I'm sure there's grainy footage from one of my old videos of me taking a carburetor apart and, not having a tripod. It's about the most dead simple carburetor ever made. I've got the low buck parts store I don't like using kit here, because that was in stock. The only reason this thing's not in the shop to get the 4-barrel manifold and the whole new 4-barrel carburetor is that I got other stuff torn apart. I'll give them one thing. They use some really tough plastic to wrap that thing. Nice of them to assume you know what you're doing and not give you a book. There was a QR code to take you to the instructions, which I assume are comprehensive and wonderfully well done, but I'm not going to stand there and squint at my phone, so no. There you are, Mr. Detent Ball. You can't really see it, but that's the cover plate housing for the economizer. And then off comes the power valve, and everything looked okay. It looked pretty good, and I really don't think anything was wrong. It's hot. You've been taking video of, nothing for the last however long. Bonus. All right. Get over here. Rebuilt-ish, I suppose. I'm going to go ahead and change that fuel filter because I got one. And it just seems like that should be something I should do. Yeah, no. Probably should have left that fuel filter alone. Was not fun. I don't know about you guys, wherever you happen to be or whatever time of year you're watching this nightmare. Ooh, 22%. But spring 26 was not much spring. It was cold and rainy, and then it just got hot, which I don't mind so much. Kind of a hot weather person, but a little spring's nice, and we didn't get it. Note to self, putting washers on 2 of these, but hopefully this is the last time this carburetor goes back on, because 4-barrel. Let's try to make it happen, Captain. Oh, man. Not an easy son of a bitch to get out. I'll tell you how much. You can see it from this angle. It's right up here. Actually, you guys might be able to see it from there better than I can see it from here. I've got a new one. Probably gonna piss over everything. fucking forget that. Not happening, man. Not happening. This clown job. There's probably a long extinct Lyle specialty tool for removing this that I don't have, but I haven't been able to find it yet. Thank you, Ford, for putting this in a ridiculously difficult place. And yeah, I know I should have put the car up on jack stands, but in the end, it wouldn't have mattered. Whoever put this on there over torqued it way too much. Other arm in here to assist myself with it. Oh man. I've never seen the like. Man, I don't want to disassemble this whole car to get that filter off. That would suck. Well, we had to take the fuel pump out in order to get the fuel filter housing off because someone put it on with about 700 foot-pounds of torque. So now, to get the fuel pump back on a big block Ford, I have to get the battery out, get a socket down there on the crank, and roll the thing over until the cam rotates around and I can get the long foot of that pump in place. And no, it's less fun than it sounds like. Like most of Ohio on June 6th, I had to take a little time and go check out the steam locomotive when it was coming through. I think about 3/4 of the state, it seems like, turned out for that. That's my semi-local Napa behind me, and failing to figure out what's going on with the Mercury and finding out that I really don't think it's a fuel issue. We're going to go with a new set of points in a condenser because I'm running out of reasons why it could be broken. Now, made in Mexico, got a little bit of hope. We'll find out. It runs for about 30 seconds and then it's like nothing, which is very weird. So, as you guys have probably seen, I went through everything I could on the fuel system, and that's not the issue. Okay, battery's unplugged. I'm hoping it's just this condenser. But we're going to do the condenser and points while we're in here. Have era-appropriate reference works when you're working on something from 1963. You guys can see that. V8 390, 2-barrel. Huh. That's valve specifications. That's not what I need. Tune-up specifications. Here we go. 62, 63. V8 390, 2-barrel carburetor. Point gap, 16. And one of these is going to have it. I have a lot of great tools, I just don't always know where everything is. Alright, now I get the thing. Everybody should have these. Well, I mean, if you're working on Jurassic hoopties, I guess. They're kind of necessary for your Jurassic hoopty. This is an original Ford set of points that I got new old stock. I highly doubt that they're the issue. Highly doubt that they're the issue. These are Ashland. They're made in Mexico. I don't think they're going to be as reliable as those old Ford ones were. That seems yeah, pretty good. There's no way this condenser fits in there. I should have looked. I bought the condenser for a car with a dual point heavy duty distributor, while our car has the single point normal distributor. Not having the correct condenser, I dug around in my never throw anything away box and found the crappy low dollar condenser that I tried putting on the car 3 years ago that didn't work worth a darn. Look at this. That's the Taiwan one I've got. This is the FA76. It doesn't fit this. It doesn't fit that at all. Okay. That's for a dual point. This is not a dual point. Down to things that probably aren't going to help me. This is probably one of them. I got the Taiwan condenser in here, which I don't have a lot of hope for. Now let's not forget to put the rotor back in there again. Go on there. Okay, so we now do have a consistent, maintainable idle, and she's not randomly dying or dying after 30 seconds. And I ran the car for, 5 minutes like this. But something's still wrong. It's obvious something's wrong, so we got to take another look. Well, whatever variant of English I'm using, something's funky. Now it's acting like it's missing and not idling worth a crap. Or maybe a vacuum leak. That camera is hot. I collect stuff. And I love these tune-up cabinets. I bought this one a while back. And I already this is the one I had on the car. This is a Ford original. Oh no. That's an FD77X Blue Streak. That's an FD77X Blue Streak. Let's try this one. She's new in the box. Worth a shot. So that's what I did. I took that Taiwan condenser off that never worked real well in the first place, and I put my new old stock blue streak on there, and we fired up the car. And our idle's a little low, but honestly, best she's ran in a long time. Then we drive down the north end, and we just kind of keep looping around for a bit and see what she does.
Roll that back window down.
Yeah. It already feels like it runs better.
It did, don't it?
Yeah. Jeez. It already feels like it runs smoother.
Yeah. Go for it. Not fast, there's kids. You got that damn.
I know, it doesn't have hesitation so bad. Sweet. Maybe. Requires more testing. Hopefully this is at least a win for the moment. You're always working on something on an old car. Don't have it go. That is quite honestly the best we've had the old girl running since we got her back on the road. And a combination of, we got some no ethanol gasoline. I really carefully went through the carburetor, new fuel filter, and the new condenser, which I think was the problem the whole time. But she's running great, and I got a couple things tighten up on the exhaust system, and then we're ready for car show season to start. So I'm going to wrap up. This is going to be a quick little video. Thank you for watching. If you stayed this long, God bless America. Get out there, have fun, get dirty, and for Somewhere in the Barn, we'll see you later.